Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Next Stuff. Our today's guest is a very special female leader, actually one of my favorite one. Vanitha, welcome to Next Stuff, and how are you doing?
Thank you, Dario, for inviting me for this. I'm doing really well and looking forward to this podcast.
Thank you very much. By the way, I really like your LinkedIn cover, which is, for those who don't know, stay hungry, stay foolish. Amazing quote from Steve Jobs. What does that mean to you, actually?
Um, I just recently moved roles took a bold move to go into commercial. I was on the fence for a very long time. Is that a right move for me? But most recently, we had this whole therapy reorg in our company, and for me, what it means is like there is no end to learning. There's always something that you will not know, and I have recently also begun to practice the philosophy of Simon Sinek, the power of the infinite game of life. There is no winner or loser in life, nor in business. It's either a learning or a reward, right? You might get something out of it, or you might just learn. If it goes bad, you're going to just learn something. So I think that philosophy helps a lot for my personal growth and development, I would say. Hopefully it'll also translate into professional growth and development.
Fantastic. So for today, we prepared some very tough questions, very scary. So let's start with the first one. I mean, you already mentioned you changed very recently roles, and that recent shift from digital to commercial, does that give you fresh ideas how to work on new commercial models or new go-to-market strategies for pharma?
Yeah, I think the shift to commercial has been a cerebral experience so far. And I think it's, first of all, a great opportunity to be much more closer and connected to business. Now, in order to reflect on ideas around new commercial models, I would like to start by saying just last month, we as a company celebrated 100 years of legacy, and we had a lot of our CEO coming and wishing us, and then we had a lot of events going around. It was such a moving experience to see how a company has grown over these 100 years. And they showed a video on how diabetes was a death sentence those days, and how it is now you can live for 100 years with diabetes, right? And how hard it was to procure something like an insulin and to extract it from various sources, and then get it to a stage today where we are able to manufacture it and also innovate in that space. Very heart touching and moving, right? Now, that also means that our company is in a very interesting position right now. We are trying to enter new areas because there are very serious unmet needs. And these conditions that we want to move into also have synergies with our existing portfolio. Now, if I have to reflect on this and see what it means to us as a commercial organization, it's just that it's like we're not going to have 100 years, yet another 100 years to touch the lives of patients. We have no choice but to look for new commercial models. Now, what that could mean is something like, with the advent of technology, and we all know technology is known for its agility, nimbleness, fail fast, fail forward approach, right? So imagine if we can intervene or have some technological interventions in the commercial space, like, for example, digital health solutions that will help improve patient outcomes and treatment outcomes, and progressive commercial customer engagement models that will help reach our customers better so that we can actually help patients better. So these are some of the evolution we need to think about, and we don't have a choice but to think about this.
Thanks a lot, Vanita. I mean, maybe just to add, you really did. I mean, Novo did some remarkable 100 years. And for those who don't know, Novo is currently the second biggest pharma company according to the market cap, which is, I think, also quite fascinating, right? Okay, next question. How does actually a fresh and modern commercial approach look like? What are maybe those pillars which should be considered?
Yeah. Well, I really don't have that answer yet, what it'll look like, but I'll definitely share it with you when we crack that. But what I can say is some of the pillars that we need to look at is it always starts with a deep understanding of the unmet needs and barriers, right? Of what across the journey, across the patient journey, across the care pathway, across the patient waterfall, like, how much of the condition is prevalent, how much can it be diagnosed, how much is we are able to treat, and how many patients actually get a better outcome or a better quality of life after that treatment. So it keeps dwindling, right? We always have that patient waterfall, which is like, the final the real benefit or the real success we see is very limited now. So our starting point or pillars to look at is that. And I think we should really also think about a differential problem solving approach. Like, and the main reason is because we also need to think that we are living in a post pandemic world. It's a new normal, right? And it's not a joke, it's really a new normal, right? And when we look for this patient journeys or this data points that will support our research and our understanding, we need to really understand that we cannot really keep a benchmark of what existed before the pandemic and during the pandemic. We can of course capture learnings from that, but we need to um, think with the vibe of the new normal. Now, once you have analyzed or have a deep understanding of the unmet needs and barriers, I think the real next step or the pillars to look at is what are some of the opportunity areas that exist, right? And make a list or wish list of all the opportunity areas that you as a company want to solve. Now, of course, we cannot solve all the problems, but we need to also prioritize what problems are very important to solve. So that prioritization exercise is key. Then after figuring out what you want to solve and what you prioritize, I think you need to set yourself an ambition of what a good looks like, and what is the balance we can take in this space, and then put a roadmap and execute it. And then execution is another topic in itself. We can talk about it another day over a coffee chat. But I think new commercial models need to really what tap into a lot of unknowns, right? And it requires a differential problem solving approach, in my opinion.
Thanks a lot, Vanitha. The $1 million question: how to embed commercial, digital, and other departments to speak a single customer voice?
Wow, that's a loaded question, isn't it? You know the recipe for success is not new here, right? At the end of the day, bringing departments together, it's always a cross-functional collaboration, thinking and problem solving that's going to be key, right? But yet breaking the silos is one of the hardest thing. And I can also speak from my own experience driving different kind of change management work across the organization. It's I don't know why it exists, but it exists, right? We all know that. But maybe if I have to reflect on it, a good approach would be to look into both the top down and the bottom of funnel. Like for example, leadership. There should be immense leadership support top down in terms of breaking the organizational silos, like, and promoting and rewarding and nurturing creative and critical thinking, because it's very easy and to just go with the flow and go with what is already tried and tested. One of my colleagues recently introduced me to the book Think Slow and Fast, right? And he talked about the behavioral science of how the human brain works. We always tend to take shortcuts as humans, right? We always try to take shortcuts, and I think it's no surprise that when we are launching a new drug, or when we are doing something new, we might end up doing that. You know what, this worked for that therapy area, it worked for that company, hey, let's just do it. The real problem solving, does it happen then, is my question. Are you really giving an earnest attempt to solve your unmet needs and barriers that you have discovered? So I think it's about top-down support, and also from a bottom-up, all the people, all the cross-functional teams, whether it's commercial, medical affairs, market access, public affairs, everybody coming together and taking a true problem-solving approach, and that this problem-solving approach is rewarded and nurtured by the top-down management, I think would probably help make things better.
Yeah, fully
But hey,
agree.
at the end of the day, if we all begin to think, right? When I wake up, what am I going to do? What am I going to do today that is going to make a patient's life better in what I'm doing? If we keep patients at the center of everything that we do, I think we could be a bit better than yesterday.
Fully agree. Yeah, I mean, especially with the part about copycatting, the same approach to different departments and so on. We see what is happening nowadays with medical affairs, right? We are commercializing it and actually repeating the mistakes from commercial and embedding them into medical. So fully agree with that. With that thoughts, thanks a lot, Vanitha. It was a great pleasure. Take very good care and seeing you very, very soon in Dubrovnik.
Thank you, Dario. Looking forward.